Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah wa sallallahu ala nabi ummi. There's a verse in the Holy Quran that speaks about reforming one's mannerism and giving instructions for that. And then it mentions something very pointworthy. It mentions وَمَا يُلَقَّاهَا إِلَّا الَّذِينَ صَبَرُوا, that not everyone will attain this high level of morals and akhlaq except those who are patient. So patience is the key component in self-improvement and self-betterment, because what sabr demands is that a person has to first bear patiently with his own self, because when we constantly keep making mistakes, and after a while the nafs gets tired of admitting one's own fault, and that's when a person becomes defensive and says, no, I don't have those faults. And that's where when a person might even try to learn more better akhlaq, but there's a sense of defensiveness in the mind. And I'll share an incident with you so this will become more clear to you. That recently, maybe a month ago or so, a friend came and he wanted some good tips on how to make his marriage life better. And as I'm speaking to him, I'm just pouring my heart out, giving very like the best ideas, the best suggestions I have. I'm giving it to him, and then I look at in his eyes, I look at him carefully, and he has this very dreadful look on his face. And I'm thinking, why does he look like that? Why does he look so defensive and sad and perturbed? And that's when I realized he was listening, but in his mind he's actually fighting the ideas, because he's imagining himself in front of his spouse, and he's just fighting the advices that I'm giving him by defending himself. So he was in his mind defending himself the whole time I'm speaking to him. So I looked at him and I was like, oh my God, I've been speaking to someone who was defensive and he wasn't willing to learn. And so I just felt like I was wasting time, and I'm like, bro, you look so defensive, what's wrong? I'm just sharing ideas with you. And that's what it became, like a very big, like a confusion to me. I'm like, oh, you reached out to get some good tips, but then in your mind you're resisting them. So I learned a big lesson there, that was, if we are in a defensive state of mind, then don't bother asking for advice or even listening to bayans and lectures on self-improvement, because in our mind we're just defending ourselves. We're not a open vessel pointing upwards where more good can be put into that vessel. The vessel's downwards and is resisting any more good to come in. There's no improvement possible when a person is defensive. So the key point for today would be to become very humble and to have a sense of humbleness and lowerness, like, oh, I'm very low as a human, I need to become special, I need to become more kinder, more noble, more generous, whatever the qualities that a person is working on. And when a person has that sense of humbleness, that's when there's a room and possibility for growth. But if a person is denying their own weaknesses and their lack of a certain quality, then there's not much hope for improvement. So may Allah give me tawfiq and all of us tawfiq to constantly have the intention and the willpower to improve ourselves. And may Allah always make it easy for us to let go of our bad habits. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على النبي الأمي.